Salam Sinha, welcome to KiniNews. A PAS leader has responded to Umno Secretary General Ahmad Maslan on his suggestion for PAS to dissolve their party.
PAS Vice President Mohd Amar Nik Abdullah has responded to Umno Secretary General Ahmad Maslan over his suggestion for PAS to be dissolved. Mohd Amar stressed that if there was a party that should be dissolved, it should be Umno, not PAS. He said, this was as PAS has been fighting for the Islamic agenda since the very beginning. Mohd Amar said this when asked to comment on Ahmad's statement during a press conference in Kota Baru today. Yesterday, Ahmad suggested that PAS should be dissolved because Umno already has an Islamic agenda. He explained that Umno had amended Clause 3.1 of its constitution in 2019 to include the Islamic agenda. Meanwhile, when asked about PAS's stance on cooperation with Umno, Mohd Amar said that Umno should rethink their stance for the sake of the Ummah and the country. He added that PAS is always open to cooperation with any party that is serious in fighting for the interests of the Malay Muslim community.
So what exactly did Ahmad Maslan say about the dissolution of PAS? Let's take a look at his speech from the event.
Umno Secretary General Ahmad Maslan believes that PAS should dissolve their party. He said, this is as Umno already has an Islamic agenda. In a talk show yesterday, he explained that Umno had amended Clause 3.1 of its constitution in 2019 to include an Islamic agenda. He pointed to Umno's constitution and said that the former PAS leader's claims that Umno is not a party that fights for the Islamic agenda is no longer relevant.
Saya ingin menyuruh pada PAS, bubarkanlah PAS. Datuk Mustafa, itu message penting tu, Salahuddin. Sampaikan kepada rakan-rakan, ramai orang Kelantan di sini, termasuk sahabat-sahabat di hadapan saya ni ramai orang Kelantan. PAS ada utama di Kelantan. Baru-baru ni mereka nak berbaik semula dengan kita. Saya rasa elok ubah tengok perlembagaan UMNO. Assalamualaikum.
His remarks came following UMNO President Ahmad Zaid Hamidi's statement against the party. Earlier this month, Zaid had called PAS two-faced and a disloyal partner. Zaid had also said that cooperation between UMNO and PAS through Mufakat Nasional had to be set aside during the 15th general election. He said that this was due to the party having given enough space to PAS to agree on the matters contained in the Mufakat Charter, but it never materialized.
Bangi MP Ong Kian Ming has shared his plans for the future once his term as MP has ended. Ong said he plans to research and teach on matters of public policy.
Probably some people will be asking and wondering what I want to do after GE15, right? I think that's a valid question as well. And I've spoken to a few people already. My plan is actually to take about 2 years to go back into academia, to write, because there are a lot of things that I want to write about, maybe write a book or two, to do research on different things that I have not had time to research on. Because I'm a full-time member of Parliament. And then the third area is actually to teach in a very practical way issues that I care about, things like public policy, economics, political science, to younger people, to younger students who may want to learn from my experience. And then at the same time to also share my experience as a former Deputy Minister and somebody who knows a bit of business based on my consulting background, to teach perhaps mature students or students who are taking continuing education in a very practical way. And apart from all these academia related interests, I also want to try to find a role to assist SMEs in Malaysia, PKS, 中小型企业. Because I've seen the kind of challenges that they faced during the lockdown, during the pandemic, and I really feel that they need some help, or at least some of them need some help in terms of strategizing on how they want to do their business in this post-pandemic world, and also to try to guide them on how to understand and adapt to government policies.
DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang has warned that Pakatan Harapan must be prepared to fight a social media war in the upcoming 15th general election.
The 15th general election will be a social media war, and Pakatan Harapan parties must be prepared, said DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang. In a statement today, He pointed to a TikTok video spreading misinformation on Pakatan Harapan and warned that this was already happening. He said the video claimed that Pakatan Harapan, in its 22 months in the government, had suppressed 12 news items which were pure disinformation, lies, and fake news, stoking hatred amongst the Chinese. He also noted that in his 56th year in politics, he has been labelled to be intolerant of various groups, but the accusers had not been able to cite a single instance to substantiate their allegations. Lim highlighted the information wars that took place during the elections in the Philippines, which resulted in a landslide victory for Ferdinand Marcos Jr., and said that this must act as a lesson for Malaysia. He warned that if social media could whitewash the kleptocracy and brutal past of the Ferdinand Marcos Sr. dictatorship into a golden era of peace and prosperity, it could also happen to Malaysia. He said there is a possibility that GE15 could be stolen by social media disinformation and internet lies. Lim added that those who do not want to see GE15 turn into a social media war should strategize on what could be done to prevent such misfortune from happening in the country.
Several MPs have spoken out against Home Minister Hamzah Zainuddin over his remarks on party hopping. This included Petaling MP Maria Chin Abdullah, who said that the remarks were flawed.
PKR's Petaling MP Maria Chin Abdullah said that the remarks by Home Minister Hamzah Zainuddin on party hopping gave an indication that the anti-hopping bill may not happen on June 7th, the date that MPs were being called back to Parliament to debate and supposedly pass the bill. She said this in response to Hamzah's remarks yesterday, that party hopping was done for the interest of the public and not the individual. According to Maria, the remarks were flawed, but were used as a justification by those who were involved in the Sheraton move in 2020. Maria said that the reason people were angry and disenchanted was that they felt their mandate was robbed from them without any consultation, let alone elections. She added that this is why the anti-hopping bill is relevant, which is to stop further abuse of entrusted powers for personal gain. Yesterday, Hamzah had said that jumping from one party to another was normal and had been happening for a long time. He said this when asked about his comments on Umno being open to MPs who wanted to return to the party. He added that the main thing was to ensure that there was a working and stable government, which was necessary to pass laws and bills for the public's benefit.
Umno Supreme Council member Shabri Sheikh has questioned the timing of statements from past leaders who support the Muafakat National Pact with Umno.
Umno Supreme Council member Shabri Sheikh has questioned if PAS is attempting to send signals before Umno's extraordinary general meeting on Sunday. This came following a stream of comments on Umno by past leaders that were supportive of the Muafakat National Pact with Umno. In a statement today, Shabri questioned the timing of the messages. He said, PAS was talking about Umno every day and asked if PAS was sending hidden messages before their meeting. He also shared a screenshot of PAS Information Chief Khairil Nizam Kiruddin's statement, which claimed that the country wanted to see Umno and PAS collaborate because it would unite the Muslims. Khairil had said that PAS guarantees that it will continue its agenda to unite the Ummah, although the Umno president had rejected it. He addressed Umno leaders who were still confident that PAS and Umno are the best options for Malaysians and said that he hoped their agenda will continue. He said this was as it was the best agenda for the prosperity and glory of Keluarga Malaysia. In response to this, Shabri said that UMNO's leadership had never wavered from Muafakat. He said UMNO's only decision is no Bersatu, no Anwar, and no DAP, and this is the decision of the party's annual delegates assembly, not the president. He added that their decision was realized during the Melaka and Johor elections, but PAS made a choice. They chose to fight UMNO. However, he said UMNO has not made any decision on PAS and Muafakat National.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court has set the date to deliver its verdict on the corruption trial involving Rosmah Mansor.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court has set July 7 to deliver its verdict on Rosmah Mansor's corruption case linked to the 1.25 billion ringgit solar hybrid energy project for 369 rural schools in Sarawak. Rosmah is being tried for soliciting 187.5 million ringgit in bribes and receiving 6.5 million ringgit from Jipak Holding Sendirian Berhad Managing Director Saidi Abang Samsudin. She was alleged to have received the money through her then assistant Rizal Mansor. The court had ordered Rosmah to enter her defense on February last year. Through the course of the trial, a total of 25 witnesses have testified. 23 witnesses were from the prosecution and 2 were defense witnesses, which included Rosmah herself taking the witness stand. Rosma's defense saw her claiming that the prosecution witnesses were conspiring against her. If found guilty, Rosma could be jailed up to 20 years and fined up to 5 times the amount of the bribe.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you would like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Sin Hao. Thank you for watching.